G2 doesn't make it. TSM doesn't make it. Basically, the two most hyped up guys, teams. The number 1 seeds. TSM doesn't get through. Now, there's a lot of blame. There's a lot of blame to go around. But the question is, who is most deserving of the blame? Who should get the brunt of the blame? Is it one guy? Is it the whole team? There's basically 3-4 candidates you can pick out for this. You're looking at guys like Parth for the pick ban, Bjergsen, who's a top 10 guy coming into this tournament, top 10 player at the tournament, and comes in and doesn't make a whole lot of noise. Doublelift, a top 20 guy coming into this tournament, and you know he believes he's the best NA80 carry and a world-class guy. Outclassed in a lot of these lane competitions, lane phases, and team fights. And I mean, a guy like Sven, who seems to be the scapegoat for them a lot of the time. I'm not putting all the blame on Sven, though.
No, I mean, you named them off there, and depending on where you go on the internet, it's a different person at a different time. I mean, it seemed like initially, right after TSM got eliminated, it was Parth who was absolutely abused, being like, man, these pick and bans sucked. They keep picking these, you know, these late game comps with no early game, and Parth is completely to blame for picking these champions. First of all, I mean, you don't have to, Parth doesn't have a full say. He can be like, hey, what do you think we should play right now? They'll give their opinions, and Parth will be like, okay, let's take Kog'Maw Janna again, which is what coaches do. So it's not all on him. Plus, just because you pick these compositions that maybe do better in the late game doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing for the first 20 minutes. I mean, that's just not, you can't.
That's a strategy.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right. So it's all on Parth.
Yeah.
No, I think the whole coaching thing is an overreaction. It's part of it. For sure, it's part of it. But you can't blame the whole thing on the coach. And you can see that he took a lot of that, the brunt of it to heart, because he basically came out emotionally and said, I'm done with TSM. He kind of retracted that, saying, we'll announce the full decision later on, and we'll see what happens. But for me, yeah, it's a full team thing. You can't just pin this all on one guy. Yeah, Doublelift was pretty bad once again at Worlds. Last year, he said, I can't finish on this low note. He was going to retire, but then he's like, yeah, I played so poorly, I got to come back and redeem myself at Worlds. That was not redemption.
Redemption part 2,
part
3.
He'll be back or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, he didn't flash when he had to. He lost lane straight up to guys like Hansama and Ignar, which you don't expect from a guy of Doublelift caliber. And then you look at Bjergsen and Sven, who just didn't have an impact on the map. Especially Bjergsen, you expect him to win his lane and then translate it everywhere. He just straight up didn't do that. He was losing lane to guys like PoE, and even Maple at times was outperforming him on the map.
Yeah, I think the main blame, there is plenty of blame to go around. I mean, but I think the brunt of it should be going towards Bjergsen and Doublelift, because these are two of the main leaders on the team. They're probably the two best players. They're their two main carries. And I mean, a guy like Bjergsen, again, it's almost a recurring theme of him kind of just being there internationally, where he's not dominating these games like you see him do domestically in NA. And I mean, he had some mistakes like Doublelift, where he wasn't flashing some stuff that he's obviously capable of getting out of, and just holding on to it for too long. I mean, maybe some of that is nerves, some of that is pressure. These guys have got to be used to that by now. They've played in so many international competitions. And Doublelift, I mean, this is his meta. It's an AD carry centric meta. We put you on hyper carries. We build team comps around you, just feed you endless amounts of shields and heals, and you dominate the game. And he did. He didn't in the majority of these games. He looked pretty good on Tristana in the first week, but the second week he was not at all at his standard. So I think the brunt of it has got to be on these two main guys. I mean, they're the guys who get the majority of the praise whenever the team's doing well, so they got to get the majority of the blame too.
Yeah, I got to agree, because even Sven Skaren in that opening week, he was getting a lot of hate, even though TSM was 2-1. You looked at his KDA and it was pretty bad. But again, his job isn't to carry these games, is to kind of facilitate. And when you have 3 losing lanes all the time, what are you going to do? Every lane is pushed in. They're so far behind. It's hard to just gank, because if you get counter-ganked, you basically lose the game. So he was just trying to kind of protect some of these teams at times. But again, when your lanes are pushed in and you don't have vision, it's very hard for Sven to get anything going. So I kind of give him a break.
Yeah, rarely is he put in a good position where it's like, oh, pick a lane, man. We're doing so well. You can just pick one and gank. It's usually, we're behind, we're starved for vision, go in there and face check. Wow, you died. You suck.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I suck then. But yeah, I think the majority of the blame is on Bjergsen and Doublelift. And there's going to be some changes brewing for TSM.
Absolutely.
Some serious ones.